Rotation players have been in an NBA Finals. One of them is Kevin Love. He brought the attitude today to shoot around. Normally a very mild-mannered guy.
He leads it the other way in transition. Martin, three, good.
Especially against good defenses, when you pass up a good look, it's hard to create a second good look.
Lowry in the corner. Martin with a three. Hey, outside Martin. On top, open triple. Good.
And he's on one. Caleb Martin is absolutely on fire.
That might be the best playoff series by an undrafted player we've ever seen. Caleb Martin surprised pretty much everyone in these playoffs, and especially in the Eastern Conference Finals, when he averaged 19.6 points per game and 6 boards per game on 60% shooting and 48% from deep. But what you may not know is that Caleb Martin has always been this good, and he's been overlooked his whole life. This is the story of Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin was born on September 28, 1995 in Mocksville, North Carolina. He has a twin brother that you may know named Cody, who is also an NBA player for the Charlotte Hornets. Their brothers played basketball and football together in high school, but they both excelled at basketball. They spent their first 3 years at Davie County High School, but for their senior year, they transferred to the high school basketball powerhouse Oak Hill. By the time they arrived at Oak Hill, both brothers were committed to play at NC State, Caleb being ranked as the 86th overall player in their class, with offers from Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest to go along with NC State. Once he arrived at NC State, Caleb struggled out of the gates. He only started one game as a freshman and averaged just 4.8 points per game, but in his sophomore year, he started to come alive. After starting 19 games, he averaged 11.5 points per game and 4.7 rebounds a game. After the season, Caleb and his brother decided to transfer from NC State, and they ended up at Nevada with Eric Musselman. This is where you might remember the Martin twins from, as they were a dominant force in the Mountain West for their last 2 years of college. After sitting out the one season for transfer rules at the time, Caleb came alive in his junior season, leading the team in scoring, averaging 18.9 points per game, 5.4 rebounds per game, and 1.3 steals a game, and helped his team to a 29-8 record and a berth in the NCAA tournament, where they tied the longest appearance in school history when they reached the Sweet 16 after wins over Texas and Cincinnati. Caleb shared the Conference Player of the Year award with Boise State's Chandler Hutchinson, and he was named Newcomer of the Year in the Mountain West. Despite originally declaring for the draft, Caleb and Cody returned to the team for their senior season, and in his senior year, Caleb was voted Mountain West Preseason Player of the Year, and he did not disappoint, improving his scoring to 19.2 points per game while averaging 5.1 rebounds a game and 1.4 steals a game. Unfortunately, Nevada was knocked out of the tournament early by Florida after a stellar 29-5 season. But Martin was voted first team All-Mountain West. Both brothers declared for the draft, but Caleb went undrafted while Cody was taken with the 36th overall pick by the Hornets, which is curious considering Caleb had the better college career on paper. But nevertheless, Caleb was picked up by the Hornets and signed to their G League team after the draft. Caleb's first 2 years in the league had its ups and downs. He started off with a two-way contract, which was eventually converted to a standard deal right before the season started, but then just a month later, he was assigned to the G League Greensboro Swarm, and throughout the season, he came up and was sent back down a few times, and he showed a bit of life late in the season when he scored 23 points against the Atlanta Hawks, but for most of his sophomore season, he was in the G League, and he was eventually waived by the Hornets after the season. But after his sophomore season, Caleb's luck started to turn. In the offseason, he was working out in Charlotte in a gym owned by rapper J. Cole. Cole took notice of Martin, and he reached out to a former NBA player and Heat assistant, Caron Butler, and told him about Martin. He had reached out to me and told me he had a very, very talented guy that was just wrecking shop up there in North Carolina. And I just invited him to an open scrimmage in the summer. And from that point on, he really earned his way on. But J. Cole having the foresight knowing Caleb can come and help a contending team was just amazing. Butler said in an interview with Charlotte Observer. Turns out that Cole's insight on Martin turned out to be very well placed, and while it took a bit for Martin to earn his way into the rotation, he eventually became a consistent piece in Miami's rotation, putting up nearly 10 a game this season. But like I said earlier in the video, nobody expected this playoff run from Martin. Every playoff run has unlikely heroes, and Martin has now etched his name into history with this current run. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and we'll see you in the next one.